Hi, I'm Alex. I was a teacher for 8 years, and so I know firsthand exactly how hard it can be to admit when it might be time to move on. This video is here to guide you as you take those first steps in your own personal leaving teaching journey. Just before I decided I didn't want to be a teacher anymore, I was waking up every single day with this sinking feeling at the pit of my stomach. I really didn't want to go to work. The children's behaviour was challenging, my senior leadership was challenging, the parents were challenging, the never-ending workload was challenging. It just seemed that nothing was clicking. And I convinced myself that maybe if I sacrificed a bit more of myself for my job, that things would get better. I would often see some teachers staying till 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening getting things done, and I thought, well, if I did that, maybe that's what makes a good teacher. But it didn't make things better. In fact, it made things worse because it was ruining my personal life. My relationships with friends, family, and romantic partners was just falling apart because I was sacrificing my entire life for this job. And I realized that I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like how this makes me feel. I don't like waking up hating what's about to happen by going to school. But working in a school, it feels like sometimes everyone around you is trying to convince you that this is the right thing to do, that teaching is such a noble and selfless profession that to admit you don't want to do it anymore is almost like you are the failure, that you have failed the children, the parents, your friends and family who respected you for being a teacher. But I'm here to tell you that that's not the case at all. In fact, how you feel is perfectly valid and no one can change that. If you don't like what you're doing, that's as valid an excuse as you need to take action and start planning for a life where you actually have a job you love and a life that you love. Because we're all worthy of those things. So, for this activity I've got here, it's a worksheet and it's got 2 questions. It's super simple and straightforward. The first question is, what is it you don't like about teaching at the moment? And I want you to write down anything that comes to mind. It could be stuff that happened last week. It could be stuff that happened 2 hours ago. Maybe you just got home. It can be something that happened last year. If it made you feel bad or anxious or any sort of feeling that's negative, write it down. Don't worry about whether it doesn't seem important. This isn't about you. If it's important to you, then it's important. So write it down. After you've done that box, the next box is, well, what would your life be like if you didn't have to worry about those things? So maybe think about the things that you can't do at the moment because of your job. Perhaps you don't have time for hobbies and interests that you're passionate about. For me, it's music and playing the piano. Maybe you want to spend more time with your partner or family or children. Maybe it's just you want to go for walks or read a book more. Whatever it is, it's valid. Don't fall into this trap of thinking, it's just reading a book, that's not important. If it's important to you, then it's important, full stop. So put it down. This activity may take 10 minutes or an hour or even longer. Take as long as you need. There's no rush. And remember, this is an exercise for you. This isn't a box-ticking exercise that your senior leadership is forcing you to do to make it look as if they're making an effort. Sit with it. And it may make you feel uncomfortable at first because you're coming up with things that you don't like about your job, but this is such an important first step. Just sit with how that makes you feel. Sit with it. Don't judge how you feel. Just embrace that. And after you've finished this worksheet and you've read it over a couple of times, I invite you to share it with a friend, a partner, or someone close in your life who you trust. Ask them what they think of what you've said. It's highly likely they're going to say something along the lines of, "That's insane. I can't believe you've had to put up with that for so long. Why are you tolerating that?" Now, flip the script a bit here. Imagine if a friend came to you and shared all this about their job and how they're feeling at the moment. What would you say? It's highly likely you'll say something along the lines of, "That's crazy. I can't believe you're putting up with that. You deserve the best. You deserve happiness." But why don't we afford that same kindness to ourselves? We are often our own worst critic in this sense. We often give advice quite easily, but when it comes to our own lives, we are unnecessarily critical of our choices. But for this activity, It's time to realize that you deserve happiness, you deserve the kindness to find a job that brings you joy, and that you are just as deserving of that as anybody else in the world. So have a go at the worksheet, think about it for a while, share it. Share it with me if you want. You can go on alexpanama.com and contact me if you want a independent look at it, just someone who's not really in that world. I'm happy to help if you don't have anyone close. Have a go and let me know what you think.